Hi there, my name's Ben. I'm a senior support technician at WordImpress. Wanted to show you really quickly how you can set up a custom Give archive for your Give pages or for your website. So, out of the box, if you go to Donations on your WordPress install, this is just a plain 2016 theme, you get this. You get an archive of all of your donation forms. It looks kind of plain, and it's got this out of place sidebar over here. So this tutorial is going to walk you through how you can set up a custom one. First things first is you always want to use a child theme whenever you are developing or making changes to your theme files. To show you our theme files over here, we've got 2016, and then we've got Give 2016, which is our custom theme file, our custom child theme. And so the only file that is absolutely necessary in a child theme is style.css, because you can see it shows them the template, the parent theme is 2016. And so that's crucial. Other than that, you don't have to have anything else in your child theme, but anything that is here will overwrite anything that is in the parent theme, with the exception of functions.php. Another side note for our theme file here is in our functions.php, we're calling for both the parent style and the child style, so that in our styles.css, it doesn't have to be a massive file that overwrites everything in the parent file. We just want to add on these styles to the end of our other files. So there's those two caveats as far as making a child theme goes. The next thing to understand is whenever you go to a WordPress page, or WordPress loads up a page, it's going to use the slug, which is this part on the end of the file, to determine which template it shows you. To show you an example, if you use a category of uncategorized, which is the only category I've got on this demo site, it's going to load up a template file. It first looked for a file called category underscore uncategorized.php. It looked in both my child theme as well as in 2016. It didn't find one named that in either one of those folders, so it dropped back to the archive.php file, and it used that to display that. Since I've now activated my Give 2016 file, if I'm loading up an archive of Give forms or Give donation forms, the custom post type is Give underscore forms. And so WordPress knows that when I go to the slug of donations, which is the slug for our custom post type, it's going to look for, and this time it will find, a custom template to load. Except that I have not activated my theme yet. So activate that, and now if I go back to donations, totally different. Now we've got a custom theme file that WordPress automatically went and found for us. So you have to name that file very precisely, archive-give underscore forms.php. To demonstrate what happens if you don't, let's change it. Let's add a 1 there. Now when I load this, WordPress can't find that file. Now because of some functions I've got in my functions.php file, it still removed the sidebar from this, which I'll show you in just a minute. But note that it's giving you the content from that original archive page, archive.php template, I should say. So let's change that name back to archive-give underscore forms.php. The first thing you need to do, as I already mentioned, is remove that sidebar. So within here, I want to create this little snippet here that uses the function give archive no sidebar, which is right here, to add a class of no sidebar. That's how 2016 tells that content portion to be full width, and that class also removes the sidebar within 2016. And so that, with that out of the way, now if we go back to our file and we reload it, you can see it has removed that. So let's hop in to the archive give forms template. First off, we get the header. This displays not only this visible front end header, it also loads in a lot of meta information and things that WordPress needs to run. So you want to call your header according to the conventions of your theme, your parent theme. But call that header, and that displays that as well as a lot of other behind the scenes stuff. After that, we want to set up the divs, and in the case of 2016, a main with ID of main. Both of these lines are basically taken from our parent theme. Since 2016, a convention there is to set up an ID primary with a class of content area, a main ID of main, class of site main. We added in give archive because we want to be able to style the main that shows up on just our archive pages using a class of give archive. But other than that, we pulled everything from the parent theme there. Next up, we hop into what's called the loop. The loop is what WordPress uses to display posts. It can be one post or it can be multiple posts. In the case of archives, it's going to be multiple posts. So here, we have to set it up so that it does not call just any post. We want a very specific post, a post type of give forms. And we'll go ahead and tell it we want 10 per page. And so it's going to loop through, which is where it gets its name, all of the posts in the database, and any post that has the post type of give forms will be displayed. And then this is where it's actually setting up that query, and then down here it actually starts running it. First, though, before it runs the query, if we just hopped right into the while loop, it's not set up to show anything if there's nothing there. So this if statement shows you if you can't find, or if you do find, rather, that there are posts, if you have some posts that match these parameters, then go ahead and do all this stuff, the meat of the file. But if not, if we scroll all the way down, else, if you don't have anything, if none of the posts match that query, output this heading that says, sorry, no donation forms found. But if you do find something, we want you to output something different. So all the ways you can support us sets up an H1. That's good for screen readers and other things, again following the conventions of our parent theme, to display what the title of this page is. And then we hop into the loop. While we have the posts, I want you to show me the posts one at a time, and it'll output them one after the other. We gave it a class of div archive forms, and then we decided which things we wanted to output. First, we output the title. Then we set up some variables to show get the ID and to get our placeholder image. That's in case there's not an image. It'll show a placeholder image. Then we wrapped this featured image as well as the goal within a wrap, or within a class of image wrap. We did that so that we can do this cool sorcery here that shows when someone mouses over it, it displays the goal bar that way. But that's the reason that we've wrapped the featured image and the goal in that image wrap, so that they can show up like that. After that, again, we say if it has a thumbnail, if it has an image, show me that image. We use give get template part because that obeys the settings that you've set in your give settings. So if I go to donations, settings, and display options, it shows my featured image size. So if I use that give get template part single form featured image, it's going to obey those sizes. Otherwise, if I just showed the thumbnail there, it would be whatever size is set within the parent theme. So that's a helpful hint there. If there's not a post thumbnail, else I want you to display this placeholder image. And so after that, it outputs the goal. Again, we've got that styled in a pretty unique way within our styles.css, but this section here is outputting that. After that, we've chosen to output the content. So if there's content, we want you to output it. There's some conditional logic in there for that. And then finally, we output a link to take users to the individual form. Throughout this file, you may have seen we've sprinkled in do actions everywhere. This is so that you can customize further this file without having to customize the file itself. We can, third-party other developers can do that. So we've added in little do actions so that other developers have spots that they can add in things. After that, we call the footer. The footer is just as important as the header. You also want to call that on all of your template files as well. So that's that. Now, if you've done all of that, and you go back to your donations page, it won't look like that. And that's because you haven't added in styles. And so I'll show you what it would look like if you hadn't added in styles by renaming my styles file here. It's going to look like this still. So in order to style that page, you've got your style.css file. In there, we got all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to go into exactly how to style things, but just know that this styles.css file is doing all of that magic to style the form, or the page rather, to look like this. So there you have it. You can go from plain to highly customized, and the sky is the limit on how you're able to customize your Give archive pages. And because you've done them all in a child theme, and you've done them all with page templates, it's future-proof. Whenever your parent theme is updated, or Give itself is updated, the Give plugin is updated, all of these styles will remain. And so that's a very short tutorial. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below.